The hit TV show alone is more than just entertainment or intensity or jaw-dropping. It actually provides us with weight loss tips. Like good weight loss tips.
Yeah. It's mandatory watching. I tell people, please watch this while you're doing my 21 days because in the midst of going through something difficult, it's good to see what these people are going through. Let me tell you real quick what it's about.
Yeah, give us just for those who maybe haven't seen a ton of it.
They take 10 people out to a remote location like Patagonia or somewhere near the Arctic, and they drop them off with cameras and 10 items they get to choose to try to live on. Whoever lasts the longest by themselves wins the big prize.
Big prize.
So that's it. They're alone. They're usually cold. They're usually a little bit afraid because there's animals and they don't have a gun. And they're hungry. So you get to watch these people live out this micro life, this little life before you, and you naturally put yourself in their position and you're like, what would I do?
Right.
Which makes it a big hit show.
Yeah. What would I do under these extreme conditions?
Right. Which then it's like, I think about, and why I want them to watch is I think about living this life where you're going to now control your eating. Whereas before, eating was maybe this therapeutic thing, medicating with it, and now you're choosing, no, I got to live a different life. It reminds me of that a lot, and what are you going to be willing to go through?
Well, let's jump right into weight loss tip number 1.
Weight loss tip number 1 is vision gives pain a purpose.
Vision gives pain a purpose.
Why are you going to skip dessert? Why are you going to not eat at night? Why are you going to go through anything difficult to get to this new place? You've got to have a vision or you're going to eat the ice cream. You've got to have a vision or you're going to medicate with food.
And the more clear the vision, the easier a road you're going to have to get there.
That's right. So what are these people's vision? Well, the reward at the end, I'm on TV, they're going to be at least semi-famous, right? So they're looking at, I'm willing to be cold, lonely, in danger, and starving to death because there is a reward. And so many people don't look at the reward, they look at their current condition, and so it's overwhelming for them. That's number 1.
Good. Number 2.
Number 2, the show, the more you watch it, the more you realize why they call it alone instead of calling it hungry, instead of calling it tired, instead of calling it afraid. Because the loneliness is the thing that tends to get to them. And what I want people to understand that are trying to lose weight.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Okay.
You shouldn't take this on alone.
You shouldn't.
Because that, like you said, that is the X factor in the show and potentially the hardest thing that makes most of them crack.
And you don't expect that. You think it's going to be something else.
Right.
And at the end, they're literally nearly going crazy because they don't have anybody to talk to. And we impose that on ourselves quite often. I'm not immune to it. I like sometimes not asking for help to a fault. And a lot of people with weight loss, we got a guy on our YouTube channel saying, people don't need help with this. All they need to do is this, this, and this. And I'm like, well, they had to hear you say that. You goof.
Wait a minute. Well,
he's been getting honest because people need help. And he's like, nobody needs help. You do need help.
Okay.
But we need to allow that. We need to desire that. It's kind of like accountability. I don't want any accountability. I want to do what I want to do. And that's the issue. There's a Bible verse in Psalms that talks about that. And it says, we separate ourselves because we don't want wise counsel. We want to do whatever it is we want to do, good or bad. And there is an aspect to that in weight loss. And we hide and we go eat. Yeah. I don't want anybody involved in this part of my life.
Isn't that, and I don't mean to
it's part of it. And I know not everybody's going to resonate with that.
When that makes me think of someone who eats at night. It's like the night eating is when maybe the rest of the family's gone to bed and you can just gorge without being seen. You can even have it dark.
It's like a family of raccoons.
You can even have it dark in the living room so that it just gives you that much aloneness.
People know who they are if they're doing that. Not everybody is, but yes, that's part of it. Don't do this alone. Yeah. And they had one guy on there that they're by themselves, and he literally began to starve, and he didn't know it. He had some food, fish heads. But they come and they check on you, a medical team, and they had to extract him. That was Dave Nessie. And they said, God, we got to take you home. And he's like, but I got food. And they're like, but you didn't eat it. You didn't eat it. See, and for us, it can be the opposite. It's like, why did you eat it? Why did you eat it? But we don't want anybody telling us until we get extracted, placed in the hospital, and then they say, here's your problem.
Yeah.
So that's tip number 2.
I'm a realistic fish head. I'm a talking fish head. SpongeBob. All right, number 3.
Number 3 is hunger is the best sauce.
That one is sprinkled all sauce seasoning.
Yes,
all throughout your program.
Yes.
All throughout your program is, guys. At the beginning of the program, oh, but what about some ranch dressing? What about barbecue sauce?
Yeah, and I don't like this. Can I have this?
And it's like, wait a couple days in, and you're going to experience, you're
start
not going to be dying, but you're going to experience hunger, and suddenly that thing that doesn't have the sauce, maybe just has a little bit of salt on it, it's going to be tasting pretty stinking good.
That's right. And on this show, you can choose to take salt, but that's one of your 10 items. So most people have no salt.
Has anyone taken salt?
Yes, and you're always watching like the lucky dogs. They got salt on their food because you see how hungry they're getting. You've got to see when they've gone a week without anything to eat, they're fishing in this ice hole, and they catch this fish, and they cry. They're so thankful for anything. They don't have salt. They don't have chips. They don't have a soft drink. And they're crying. Yeah. We can learn so much about gratitude if you watch this and you see what they're going through. So, yes, hunger is the best sauce. You know why you're a picky eater? Because you've never been hungry in your life.
Oh, man.
And I know for some people, for two of you, that may not be true. But for so many, it's true. You've never experienced hunger. So why would I want a green pepper?
Yeah.
When I've never been hungry enough to eat a green pepper.
Have you ever encouraged your people going through the program to write these out and maybe stick them in places where they'll see them throughout the day? Because if I'm really
these tips,
if I'm really trying to lose weight and I'm realizing this is going to be a battle, sticking hunger is the best sauce on the fridge or somewhere I'm seeing it's pretty good.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, it's a good idea.
What do you got for us? Number four.
Number four. And this is our last one. Okay. We're moving quick.
Good.
You get to choose home. And I thought of that one. So in season 3, Callie is there. And Callie is an attractive young lady. And she's out there with these people that are pretty hardened outdoorsmen. And she's this cute girl. And she's got skills. But what made her special is she talks about it. She says, a lot of people come out here and they're just going to see how long can they survive this horrible situation until I get to go home to my comforts. And she did it differently, and she lasted longer than just about anybody. She said, I'm making this my home. This is my home now. And how does that apply to weight loss?
Well, it's funny because I thought what you were about to say was it actually helped them knowing I have a home to go back to, so I can stick this out and then I'll go home. But you're doing the opposite of, no, this is my new home.
Right.
And so get that other stuff, as hard as that may seem, out of my mind because this is where I'm hunkering down until the job is finished.
Do you see how that applies to weight loss?
I've heard you talk. You've made videos discussing it. You go expound.
Yeah. The diet is what you're visiting instead of making it your new home.
Oh, that's good.
So we're visiting this diet until we can finally say, when do I get to go home where I get to do what I used to do and overeat and eat like I used to? We're not going to make this our new home. You need to give yourself permission to make this is my new home. And that's kind of like our phase 2. We're like finding home. It's like this is where we find out our new lives and we begin to live that out. So she got bit by these spiders and she showed her side of her where she got bit on her hip there and all these spiders. And she's like, I don't know, are these poisonous? And she's good with plants and stuff. And she puts this stuff on there. And you're like, most people when that happened would have gone home. But in her mind, I am home. And see, that's what happens with the diet. Something hard happens, and then we're like, oh, phew, how good. I get to quit my diet and go back home and get the relief that I used to get when I ate like I used to eat. Yeah. Because we didn't give ourselves permission for this to be your new home. Mm-hmm. This is where you live now. You're going to tolerate the good, the bad, and the ugly here now. With a new way of eating, a new way of relating to food. It's an amazing mindset change.
Well, I think that's why so many people take to your program is they're thinking to themselves, oh, like, I can keep doing this stuff because I have this mindset change. You've given me practical tools, but you've also given me the mindset change. So this is different than these programs where you have to just eat these meals they're sending you.
That's right.
Who's going to do that for the rest of their lives?
That's right.
Oh, I'm going to do...
What are you going to do the rest of your life?
The juice diet. who's going to do the juice diet for the rest of their lives? But you're giving them this package that can, and very often does, carry over. Maybe they're going to make some tweaks after the 21 days.
Make tweaks, but you got to have a new home.
But you got to have a new home, and you're teaching them, make this your new home.
That's
What's your new home going to look like to maintain the weight that you want to be?
Yeah, it's a little bit like maybe retiring from a job, right? You were an accountant, and now you're going to become a police officer, or a school teacher. And it's like, you don't have to do any of that stuff anymore. You're not obligated to do that. But sometimes it's hard because our identity is so tied to the way we were and where we were living before. But you've got to give yourself permission. And I like that mindset. I'm giving myself permission to do this because sometimes we feel obligated to go back. Mm-hmm. That's really who I was. That's really the way I should be living, instead of, no, not only that, but when we give ourselves permission for this new home, one thing I think that's really helpful is that we realize it's a better home. It's a better place. But a lot of times we think, no, where we used to be was a better place. It's like the Israelites being freed from Egypt to go to the promised land, but they keep looking back.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we belong. Maybe that's where my home should be. And it's like, actually, this isn't just a new home where you get to experience some new things. Yeah. It's a better home. It's the real life. It's where you really belong. So give yourself permission to go there.
Well, if you want to join a 21-day transformation...
And live there.
Oh.
You don't just go there and live there.
And live there. If you want to do a 21-day transformation and experience, well, a lot of what we're talking about, and we allude to it in a lot of videos, but if you actually want to do it, which we encourage you to, 21 days, average weight loss is 10 pounds, join it. There's a link in the description. It also makes me think of, and I think it is in your notes, but The Matrix.
Matrix.
He's already experienced, Neo has already experienced the real. But then there's that opportunity to go back to the fake, which is still pretty fun because you can eat the steak. Is that what you were going to mention?
Yes. Do you want the fake or the real?
And eat the fake steak that still is satisfying, or the real that is ultimate satisfaction and freedom. Which one do you choose? And we absolutely believe that the freedom of being the right weight is better than what some would kind of call slavery to being overweight, obese, but you get to eat the excess. You want the excess, or you want the true freedom?
You want to leave the Matrix.
Do you want to leave the
Matrix? We invite you to leave the Matrix.
Comment below, you guys. Let us know your thoughts on this. What stood out to you in this video? Have you seen Alone? And what stands out to you when you watch it? Have you made any correlations to the weight loss journey that you're on? Anything else you'd add to that?
They can find History Channel is where it comes out if they want to watch it. And it's on lots of the different
Hulu and all that.
Yeah, places you can find it.
Cool, guys. Well, until our next video, thanks for watching. Trainer Joe, train your brain.
And transform your body.
You guys want to know something funny? Just a behind the scenes. So we actually had started filming this video, but he got this new contraption. It's always the new technology.
It was supposed to be better.
It was the new technology where it's like a camera tripod, and we kept looking up, and we were like, has it always been that crooked? And so we'd go fix it, and then we'd be talking for 2 more minutes. It kept sliding, and so it was like really at a sharp angles, and we were like, scratch it.
Y'all got take 4. Unfortunately, it was our best take.
Best take, yeah.